But what happened next would become one of the greatest aviation mysteries in history. Less than an hour after takeoff, the plane vanished from radar. No distress call, no emergency signal, just silence. Despite one of the largest and most expensive search operations ever conducted, only fragments of debris were ever found. The plane itself and the truth of what happened remains lost. Tonight, we dive into the haunting mystery of MH370. We'll explore the timeline, the investigation, the conflicting theories, and the chilling possibility that someone, somewhere, knows more than they've revealed. This is the vanishing of flight MH370 and what might have really happened. The routine flight, the aircraft was a Boeing 777-200ER, one of the safest planes ever built. Piloted by Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah, a veteran with over 18 round flying hours, and First Officer Farik Hamid, a young co-pilot on his final training flight. On board, 227 passengers, 12 crew. Most were Chinese nationals, with others from Malaysia, Australia, and Europe. The plane lifted off at 12:41 a.m. Everything seemed normal. At 1:19 a.m., the cockpit made its final transmission. "Good night, Malaysian 370. It would be the last time anyone heard from MH370. The moment of disappearance. Just 2 minutes later, at 1:21 a.m., the plane's transponder, its electronic identifier, was switched off. Civilian radar lost contact, but military radar still tracked it. And here's where the mystery deepens. Instead of continuing toward Beijing, MH370 turned sharply west, crossing back over Malaysia and then out into the Andaman Sea. This was not an accident. It was a deliberate maneuver. For nearly an hour, the plane continued flying off course, unseen by the world, except for military radar blips that would only be revealed later. The ghost flight. After 2:22 a.m., the plane slipped off military radar too. For many hours, no one knew where MH370 was. But satellite data later revealed that the plane was still flying. The British company Inmarsat detected hourly handshakes from the plane's systems. These signals showed the plane flew for 6 more hours after its last known position. At 8:19 a.m., the final handshake was recorded. After that, silence. Somewhere far from where it should have been, MH370 went down. But where? The search begins. Initial searches focused in the South China Sea, near its expected flight path. Nothing was found. When Inmarsat data was analyzed, the search shifted thousands of miles west into the southern Indian Ocean, one of the most remote places on Earth. For years, ships, planes, and submarines scanned the seabed. They covered over 120 square kilometers. Still no plane. No black boxes. Just an empty ocean. It was as if MH370 had been swallowed whole. The debris in 2015, a discovery rekindled hope. On Réunion Island, thousands of miles from the search zone, a barnacle-encrusted aircraft, Flaperon, washed ashore. It was confirmed as belonging to MH370. Other fragments followed, found in Mozambique, Madagascar, and Tanzania. But here's the chilling truth. Despite these pieces, the main wreckage was never located. The debris confirmed a crash, but not the how or the why. Theories of what happened. The disappearance of MH370 has fueled countless theories. Let's explore them. 1. Catastrophic mechanical failure. Could a sudden decompression or fire have knocked out communications? If true, why did the plane turn back deliberately instead of crashing immediately? Pilots are trained to communicate emergencies. No distress call was ever made. 2. Pilot suicide. Some investigators believe Captain Zahari deliberately diverted the plane. His home flight simulator showed routes into the Indian Ocean. Was this a carefully planned suicide mission? Or simply coincidence? 3. Hijacking. Could terrorists or rogue actors have taken control? The lack of any claim of responsibility makes this puzzling. Who would hijack a plane and never announce demands? 4. Crew incapacitation. The ghost plane theory. Slow decompression might have knocked everyone unconscious. The plane, still on autopilot, flew until fuel exhaustion. But again, who turned the plane so sharply off course? 5. Military shoot-down and cover-up. Some suggest the plane was mistaken for a hostile aircraft and shot down. Governments then covered up the truth. But if so, where are the wreckage and bodies? 6. Deliberate concealment. Was MH370 carrying sensitive cargo? Intelligence agents? Something worth hiding. If so, could governments have orchestrated its disappearance? Theories abound, but evidence remains scarce. The family's agony. For the families of the 239 on board, the disappearance was not just a mystery, it was torture. Days stretched into weeks, weeks into years. Some refused to accept the official explanation. Others demanded deeper investigations, convinced something was being hidden. Imagine living with no closure, no body to bury, no final words. Just a loved one who boarded a flight and never returned. The investigation's Malaysia's official report in 2018 admitted the cause of disappearance cannot be determined. Australia, leading the search, concluded the flight ended in the southern Indian Ocean, but could not say why. Independent experts have run simulations narrowing possible crash zones. Still, the wreck remains unfound. 9 years later, the case is as cold as the ocean floor where MH370 may rest. The haunting legacy. 70 has become more than a mystery. It's a symbol of the limits of technology, even in an age of satellites and constant surveillance. A symbol of grief, of families left without answers. A symbol of conspiracy, where secrecy and confusion breed endless speculation. It is the modern-day Flying Dutchman, a ghost ship of the skies, vanishing into legend. What really happened? So, what truly happened to MH370? If it was mechanical failure, why no Mayday call? If it was suicide, why involve 238 innocent lives? If it was hijacking, why no demands, no proof, no trace? And if it was cover-up, what truth was worth burying at the bottom of the ocean? Perhaps someday the wreckage will be found. The black boxes will speak. The silence will be broken. Until then, MH370 remains an open wound, a question mark etched into the skies above us. The flight that never landed at 12:41 a.m. on March 8, 2014, 239 people boarded a plane, trusting they would see another sunrise. Instead, they became part of one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of our time. Somewhere out there in the depths of the ocean, or hidden by human hands, lies the truth of what really happened. And until that truth is revealed, Flight MH370 will never stop haunting us.